Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to do something really useful. We are going to take a full-blown technical analysis report for the stock ANET and decode it. I know it can look pretty intimidating, but our mission here is to slice right through the jargon and the numbers and figure out the actual story that the data is trying to tell us. Whoa, okay, let's just jump right in. If you're looking at this screen and thinking, what in the world am I even supposed to be looking at? You're not alone. This is what a raw data dump from an analyst report looks like, and frankly, it often feels like it was designed for a computer, not a human being. But here's the good news. We can absolutely learn to read this. We're just going to break it down piece by piece and turn this wall of noise into a clear, understandable narrative. So let's get started. Okay, so our very first step is to get on the same page and understand the core idea behind this entire document. This is section 1, decoding the report. This whole thing is built on one concept, technical analysis. Now, here's the key thing to get. This approach doesn't really care about a company's profits, its products, or what it sells. It's all about studying the chart. It's about looking at the history of a stock's price and its trading volume to find patterns. You can almost think of it as trying to read the market psychology written in the language of data. All right, with that foundation, let's start our investigation. Think of us as detectives. We're going to start by looking for the most important clue to find the big picture. So section 2 is all about the question, what's the price trend? Every analysis has to start right here with the most basic piece of information, the price. As of this report, ANET is trading at $131.12. This is our anchor point, our you are here marker on the map. Now, a single price point doesn't tell us much, right? We need context. So let's look at the closing prices for the last 5 days. You can see it's been a little choppy, up a bit, down a bit, and then bam! Look at that last day. A massive jump from around $124 all the way up past $131. That is a significant move, and it's our first major clue. You know, there's that old saying in the markets, the trend is your friend. But with prices jumping around every day, how do analysts find the real underlying trend? Well, they use a tool to smooth out all that daily chaos. It's called a moving average. In our report, you'll see two main types. The simple moving average, or SMA, is just what it sounds like, a basic average of prices over a certain time. Then you have the exponential moving average, or EMA. It's a little bit smarter. It gives more weight to the most recent prices, so it reacts much faster to changes, like that huge jump we just saw. So we've spotted a potential change in trend, but does it have any power behind it, any real oomph? That's where momentum comes in. So let's dive into section 3 is momentum building. One of the most popular tools for measuring this is the MACD. Now, it sounds complicated, I know, but it's really just 3 parts. You have the MACD line and the signal line, but the part that gives us the clearest picture is the histogram, which simply shows the difference, or the space, between those 2 lines. Now, let's look at the data. The report shows the MACD histogram for ANET is positive at 0.571. And here's the crucial takeaway. When that histogram is above the 0 line, it signals to analysts that bullish or upward momentum is building. This adds even more weight to the story of that big price jump. Another key momentum gauge is the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. This one runs on a simple scale from 0 to 100. Readings over 70 can suggest a stock is overbought, and under 30, it might be oversold. ANET's RSI is 51.60. That's right in the middle, totally neutral. It's telling us that, yeah, momentum is picking up, but the stock isn't in some kind of extreme territory, at least not yet. Okay, so we've got an uptrend with some momentum building. What's next? Well, we need to check the market's mood, and that brings us to section 4, where we're going to look at volatility and volume. To measure volatility, analysts love using Bollinger Bands. The easiest way to think about it is like this. The middle line is the average price, and the upper and lower bands create a kind of statistical road that the price usually stays inside of. They define what's considered a high or a low price for the stock right at this moment. The key number here from our report is the BB position, 75.86%. This means the price is currently trading way up in the top quarter of that road. When a stock pushes up against the top band like this, it's often seen as a sign of real strength. Now for the confirmation. Was anyone actually participating in this price move? The report's relative volume is 1.55. This means that on that big up day, trading volume was 55% higher than average. To an analyst, high volume validates a price move. It suggests there was strong conviction from buyers. We've looked at trend, momentum, volatility, and volume. We've gathered all our clues. Now it's time to put it all together and look at the report's final verdict. In Section 5, the final scorecard. Okay, so this slide gives us the high-level summary, and this is where it gets really fascinating. The overall technical score is 61.50 out of 100, which the report rates as moderately bullish. But then, look at the momentum score. It's negative 55.09, which is bearish. So how can that be? How can it be bullish but also have bearish momentum? What's that conflict telling us? Well, it tells us a story. It means the longer-term momentum was negative. The stock had been in a downtrend. But the recent powerful price action, that positive MACD histogram, the high volume, all these short-term signals have flipped the overall technical picture. So the key takeaway is this. The story of ANET right now is one of a recent downtrend that is showing the very first signs of a potential bullish reversal. And that's how you do it. That's how you decode a technical report. We took a wall of data and turned it into a clear narrative. But you have to remember, this analysis is just a snapshot in time. It's not a crystal ball. Today, the data tells a pretty compelling story. The real question is, what will the next chapter be?